Good evening and welcome to Solent Sports News. I'm Jed Barber and this is John Smart. Ahead of another action-packed weekend of English football, attention turns to the Premier League for Week 12 of the season. The marquee fixture of the weekend is of course the 177th Manchester derby. With Manchester City sitting top of the table, flying high and unbeaten in their opening 11 games facing a United side in 7th, already 9 points adrift of their bitter rivals. Manchester United striker Romelu Lukaku is still a doubt for the game, as is fellow Belgian Kevin De Bruyne, who is still recovering from knee surgery. Southampton will face Watford at 3 p.m. on Saturday, where a loss could potentially see the Saints dip into the relegation zone for the first time this season, after only one win in their last 11 games. In some of the other notable fixtures over the weekend, Tottenham travel to Selhurst Park to face Crystal Palace, Liverpool host Fulham at Anfield, Chelsea will take on Everton at Stamford Bridge, and Arsenal welcome Wolves to the Emirates.
The FA Cup first round kicks off this weekend and we focus on two-time winners Portsmouth. The League One leaders have only advanced past the first round once in their last 6 seasons. Tomorrow's early kick-off sees them travel to non-league outfit Maidenhead United. The two sides have never met in a competitive game of football before this weekend.
The FA Cup first round kicks off this weekend, with 40 games being played between tonight and Monday. But on Saturday, two-time FA Cup winner Portsmouth make the short journey to Berkshire to face non-league Maidenhead United. It's been over a decade now since Pompey were triumphant in their most recent cup success in 2008. As a result, for the past 7 seasons, the Blues have had to start their FA Cup campaigns from the first round, where they have been knocked out immediately. This time, the fans have a higher expectation, given the great start to the season, topping the league clear by 3 points. With Pompey's glory days being a thing from the past, Mark Luther, an avid supporter, spoke about his memories with the club.
FA Cup, I'd have to say Man United quarter-final was most probably one of the greatest days of my life, to go there and beat them on their own turf played. And then obviously...
To get more views on that 2018's FA Cup final win, we asked some Pompey fans about their memories.
I didn't go and watch it myself, it was on TV, but yeah, the buzz around the town was absolutely brilliant.
Everyone was, well, it lifted the whole city sort of thing, you know, every day. We had the coach came by when they came back with the cup afterwards, but on that day, we was all G'd up, ready, you know, hoping that we would win the cup, and when they did win the cup, that was it.
Great, the whole city come together. The parade afterwards was great, everyone's just filled the streets.
I took my son up to there, but we were sat in Wembley right at the top, and it was really, really scary, you know, but obviously thinking, oh, if you've had a drink and you look down, it's, you know, but it was amazing, and to think that they got there was really, really great.
Just a brilliant atmosphere for the whole place, at school, college, just brilliant.
Particularly remember Lassana Diarra and his touch on the ball, fantastic player.
With the win this Saturday, the fans' expectations could start to turn into a reality. But until then, hope is what fuels their love for the club.
Apologies for the technical issues during that. Vietnam will join the Formula One calendar in 2020 with a street race in the capital city, Hanoi. The race was announced by the sports chairman Chase Carey. It will be staged for the first time in April of 2020. The first new race announced since Liberty Media bought the commercial rights to the series. The Hanoi round of the championship, which will be run on a 5.5-kilometre circuit, will be the 4th street race on the calendar, along with Monaco, Singapore and Azerbaijan.
In netball, Team Solent have been knocked out of the Western Conference Cup. We take a look into the loss that sent them out and where the team can go on from here.
Spirit in the Solent netball camp was high, as they went into their 4th game of the season unbeaten. The girls are the current holders of the Western Conference Cup, as they faced Bristol in the last 32 of the competition. In a tightly contested game, the Reds lost 25-22 to Bristol, losing their 100% unbeaten streak. But despite the defeat, player and coach Claudia Andrade remains hopeful of their league ambitions.
It was a tough game at first, obviously. We did a couple of mistakes, but like every team does, but towards the end we got it together as a team and we pulled it through, got really close. So to be fair, it was a good game, proud of the girls. So we're just going to keep our heads up. We've still got the league, we're still unbeaten in the league, so we're just going to try and keep that going. I mean, still win the cup, you never know, just lost one game, only by a few goals, so maybe might go in goal difference and then we'll see later on.
Katie Parslow says Solent need to build on their performance.
Probably didn't start off our best, but towards the end, yeah, it went really well, so only positive things towards the end, really. But it's a cup game, so we still have our hopes for the league, and obviously you can't be perfect all the time, can you? Like, you just got to build on it, take the positives out of the game and work on what went wrong. We really need to work on our shooting and our consistency there, but our main aim really is to win the league again. Obviously we're now out of the cup, so that's not going to go too well, but we're unbeaten in the league still, so hopefully we'll win that.
In other news, a sensational bout scheduled to be held in Japan has seemingly been cancelled. Floyd Mayweather says he has not agreed to face Tenshin Nakazawa in an official bout and had never heard of the Japanese kickboxer until this week. The former 5-weight boxing world champion was said to have agreed to face Nakazawa in Japan on the 31st of December. Mayweather said he had only been asked to compete in a non-televised event for wealthy spectators.
In basketball, the team Solent Kestrels have someone amongst the ranks with a different background to many. Our reporter Adam Holmes has been down to St Mary's Sports Centre to find out more.
Deep in the heart of Southampton city centre, Team Solent Kestrels are training for the next fixture. Amongst the busy sports hall is a player with a different background to the norm, point guard Gina Gomez. Learning her trade in San Diego, California, Gomez is now one of Solent's key players in their title charge this year. She says it's been a passion from youth.
So I started playing when I was 3 years old, when my mom put me in a rec league, Huntington Beach, and then that really got me into college, and I played at San Diego State for 4 years, and now I'm here.
Last season, Gomez played as a senior for San Diego State University side Aztecs, and it's fair to see why she impressed. An impressive final season saw her start all 30 fixtures, averaging 11 points per game and scoring in double digits in each of the last 8 of the campaign. The season also included a career-high 5 3-pointers against the University of Nevada in January. Gomez finished her university career with the 3rd best field goal percentage in school history and has continued to showcase her talents here in the UK. And despite the difference in the level of the game, she is enjoying every minute of the season so far.
I think we can beat anyone, honestly, as long as we continue to stay together and defensively work on our communication and just grow in that area. I don't think anyone can stop us.
Her exploits have also impressed head coach CJ Lee, who says she brings an added edge to his side thanks to her experience in the States.
Gina Gomez, she's a class act. She's played at a really good level, so playing Division 1 in the States for 4 years really prepares you to play at the kind of highest level of women's basketball, and coming to the UK where the level of basketball isn't maybe as high as some other European countries, she really stands out. She's a real kind of class act, and she's got, she's a great character as well, great person. So yeah, all around it's been a really good move for us.
Coach Lee concurs that this season is shaping up to be a successful one for Solent, which is something which may attract more players with a background like Gomez.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of players who come here, they're not quite sure what to expect. I mean, they come, if you come to St Mary's and you see this kind of tiled floor that's been here for, 100 years, you might wonder, what are you walking into? But actually, when they get on the floor and they're with the other players, I think they have a newfound respect for the game in the UK.
The side travelled to Anglia Ruskin University in the National Basketball League on Saturday, looking to put pressure on Bristol Academy Flyers at the top, who they trail by 2 points. Adam Holmes, Solent Sports News.
In the cricket, England have taken a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series against Sri Lanka. Moeen Ali and Jack Leach were instrumental in the thumping 211-run victory in Galle. This was the Three Lions' first Test win abroad since 2016, ending their 14-match losing streak. The second game between the two teams is scheduled for November the 14th at 4 AM.
Blackfield and Langley Football Club are a team currently sitting 3rd in the Southern Division of League One, which is their highest ever league position in their 83-year history. That leaves them just 2 promotions away from National League football. But despite this, they are under serious threat of relegation by the FA. Why? Well, it all comes down to the dressing rooms.
Blackfield and Langley Football Club are a team currently sitting in 3rd place in the Southern Division League 1, which is their highest ever position during their 83-year history. That leaves them just 2 promotions away from National League football, but despite this, they're under serious threat of relegation from the FA. Why? Well, it all comes down to their dressing rooms. A new FA ruling has forced all Step 3 and 4 teams in the National League system to comply with their new dressing room code. It states that both the home and away rooms have to measure at least 18 metres squared by the end of the current season. But should a club's lack of facilities really affect their league position? Blackfield and Langley's chairman, Claire Sinclair, doesn't think so.
Yeah, it's been a surprise, I have to say. That wasn't one of the things that we were considering. Had we have not been promoted automatically last season from Step 4 without having to meet, as I said, the Grade E requirements previously, and we had to adhere to Grade E, we would have probably have seen that that was coming to place, and we would have maybe taken measures and taken that into consideration in future groundwork. We worked really, really hard to get where we are as well, both on and off the pitch, and it was just a bit of a sucker punch to have something else to deal with, which is probably more of an issue than any of the other issues that we've previously considered that were quite major to stay in the league as it is.
And along with Blackfield, clubs up and down the country will have until the 31st of March to submit their proposals for their new dressing rooms to avoid the dreaded drop down the leagues.
To discuss this story further, we sent out our correspondent Sham to the Universal Stadium, the home of Solent FC.
Hi, my name is Shan Abufala, and we are here live at Solent Football Club, who sit top in the Wessex Premier League. And where does promotion take you from here? It will take you to the Southern League. And with the new dressing code that the FA has put up in the recently, the Solent have to comply with the new rules that the FA has put. And we are, luckily for me, I've got my measurement tapes and I've got someone to help me with the measurements. Please join me into the Solent football change room. So, Juliana, what are the measurements of this changing room?
The length of the changing room is 4.4 metres and the width of it is 3.3. So overall that makes it about 14.5 metres that they're working with.
So Solent are 4 metres short from the measurements that the FA has put on. So with this case, we have got Greg Dixon, who's the club secretary of this club, on this to talk to us about this matter. Hi Greg, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, so we've just measured the changing rooms, and we found out it's 14.5. Is this going to affect? Is this going to affect is this going to deny promotion next season for Solent?
Well, you're just telling me now that our dressing rooms don't comply. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed.
Right. So we will have to look into it. So effectively, if that's the requirements that are needed at next level, then that will stop us getting promotion. I believe that we're not the only clubs within the Southampton area that have got this problem. I know that Blackfield and Langley are worried that they're going to get relegated through exactly the same issue. So the only thing I find strange is that they've just brought this in now rather than pre-season, so we knew what level playing field we were sort of singing from. But to change it halfway through the season seems very, very strange and puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on clubs to try and because you build your budgets before the season starts. So this would be an extra cost to us that we wouldn't have even budgeted for. So yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on us.
And this are you worried that Solent are going to get maybe because you've had a lot of chances to go up recently? So are you going to be like worried that you're not going to get promotion next season? When you can spend this money on youth team, maybe you can spend money on other things. Now you're worried about to spend money on the changing rooms.
Well, any club would want to improve their facilities, so you have to work out where you're going to spend your money. Promotion is automatic this year, so if you finish top, the criteria is you do go up. However, I believe that the circumstances are that the league that you go into, if your ground is not up to the grade, and you do have 12 months And again, that would have an impact on what money we would need to look at when we get promoted, because not only do we need to look at upgrading the ground, you need to budget in your travelling expenses and stuff like that, which is a lot greater than what it is from the Wessex League.
Thanks for that, Sham.
Well, it's all a bit silly, this changing room malarkey. What's your say on it, John?
I mean, personally, when clubs are now going to have to spend thousands to renovate and make sure their changing rooms are a required size, you know, it's non-league football. Your stadium or your changing rooms, they're not going to be immaculate. It's character building, and I think when you've got to spend thousands to make them bigger, to make them a better size, I just think it's stupid. You could spend that money on, you know, youth development, your pitch, your stadium, but now you've got to spend it on your changing rooms just so you don't get relegated. I think it's ridiculous, but what are your thoughts on it?
Well, you know the good old saying, size doesn't matter. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Be sure to check out all our social media sites. See you again next week. Goodbye.